Haul the spaceships to Davenport. Prepare for a dev anarchy. And interface with a couch in space. Space Couch is back. We took last week off due to all sorts of cosmic storms and solar radiation and asteroids and meteors. I forget what the difference is between those two, but we had to deal with them both. So we dealt with it, and we're back just in time to tell you about our advertisers. Brand new this week. For the first time, it's a new advertiser, Liger Hawk Records. I'm just kidding. They're not new. You want to check out Methods of Dance Strip Show. This is so exciting. 80s Greek industrial. Literally. Designer from Invictus. James Netterwald's Seeing Through Myopia. It's so great. Bitman's Journeys. You can't go wrong. You want to check out the Invictus self-titled EP. We'll get into that in a little bit. Summer Vampire from Tommy Tantrum. He's not having a good summer, but his music's awesome. Anger, Pain, Fear, and Aggression from Dot Exorcist. Then you want to check out Rain All Day by Tommy Tantrum. A Panda and His Uke. That's AP Panda Strike. Ex-Girlfriend song. Then Ascender from Invictus. Bitman's Questoris. He just can't stop this guy go on an adventure. And you can get all that at ligerhawkrecords.bandcamp.com. And we are still an affiliate, I still can't believe it, of wait, I forgot the thing. Of Super 7. Super7.com/Space Couch Show. I forgot this. It's all right. Super7.com/Space Couch Show is where you go to get the coolest action figures in all the land. I just picked up this Toxie. There's a pre-order. It's been waiting for it for a really long time to show up. It's like American Toxie, and it's awesome. And you can get all that at super7.com/Space Couch Show. One word. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, something of a literal rain delay, because we were going to do this live in Philadelphia. But we almost got flooded out, but we pulled the show off. So I'm really double excited to talk to today's guest. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Vlad Invictus from Invictus. What's up, man?
Hello.
How's it going?
So we're finally having the interview after all this time. We're finally having
it, right? For the listener, we were lucky enough to pull off our first kind of Liger Hawk show with yourself, myself, and the illustrious 8-Bit Panda Strike. But there was this crazy rain delay because it was, of course, the skies opened up, so we couldn't do it live. So we're doing it in space today. So I flew right back up into space, from Scranton. And I love your Liger Hawk Records shirt. Check it out. This just came in the mail.
Oh,
Liger! Very cool.
Yours. I like yours.
Well, we're bred for magic. You first came into my world line when you were sort of deciding on what the name of your new project would be that eventually became Invictus. And I'm not sure, but it seems like this grew out of a prior project. Is that accurate, or is Invictus wholly its own thing?
Well, it began a very long time ago with the music that I produce, and Invictus did grow out of a project. The most recent one before Invictus was Vitriolum.
Okay.
And what I did was I transitioned from Vitriolum into Invictus.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was coming up with the name, I was thinking of, should I call it HDA, which was hard drive aesthetic? I was thinking, should I call it time signal, which is actually a song? Or should I go with Invictus? And it's interesting because I think that when I put up a bit of a poll on Facebook and I had all these people that were observing my post, everybody just straight shot, including yourself, and said Invictus, no doubts about it. So
Yeah.
I was like, okay, so yes, of course I came up with the name, but all of you helped me push the button on that and give it the green light and make that final decision. The name Invictus itself, it actually comes from, you know, the word originally Invictus,
Right.
which is spelled differently, of course, and it comes from that poem, which people are rather familiar with, and it's a militant poem. I don't know it off the top of my head, or else I would recite it.
Mm-hmm.
And I would look it up on my phone, but my phone's being used to record. So if
Ah,
anybody
thank
wants to
you.
check out the poem Invictus, INVICTUS, it's very simple, but it's very good, and it's all about braving the storm and having that fight and making it through things and overcoming circumstances. And to me, that's very important because music should be inspirational. And the whole point of Invictus is not just about me overcoming my own trials and tribulations and having this form of self-expression via musical production, but to inspire others
Mm-hmm.
to make it through their own storms
Oh,
and to
nice, man.
overcome things and to go deep within themselves. Because vitriolum actually comes from the original name I had. It comes from Hermeticism, the Hermetic teachings. And I don't know if you're familiar with that. And it's all about going internal and
Mm-hmm.
visiting the interior of the earth and finding the sorcerer's stone. Um, but I won't get too much into that kind of stuff because it's more about the music, but I could talk a lot about that. Um, but I transitioned out of the vitriolum because it just, it was a time in my life when I made that name
Mm-hmm.
that I was deeply studying like those philosophies
Mm.
and Hermeticism and whatnot. But then at the same time, that was a chapter of my life I wanted to leave behind, and I wanted to breathe new life into something. So I had to shed old skin. And to me, vitriolum is just decided to evolve and practically get fused with Invictus. So the
Cool.
tracks are still there, and the album Soul
Okay.
Mine, SOLMINE, is still on the Invictus Bandcamp and everything. So all those tracks are there. But when I think about my older music and I think about it in compared to what I'm doing now, um, I like my new music a lot.
I love
In
your new
regards
music a
to,
lot.
you know, what vitriolum was. But that was in a different state of mind.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Well, I mean, we'll cut in a clip here. It's awesome, awesome stuff. I'm not even sure how
okay,
to
yeah.
classify your music. Um, industrial journey. I don't. It's just. It's like I don't know. I always feel like I'm going on like a quest. It's really great stuff. Um, how how is an Invictus song made? Like, what's your process? Do you work mostly like in the DAW after breakfast, or how does it come together for you?
Well, for me, of course, I use a DAW. I work with
Mhm.
Ableton.
Okay.
I'm on Ableton 12 now.
Okay.
I use MIDI controllers. Here's my main one that I use for a lot of production. Of course, I love
Nice.
this, and there's no need to buy a new one when this does the job. I added guitar in, as you can see. I
Hey,
think
visuals. I
that's all on
love it.
camera. Yeah, and back here, if I could get up for a moment, I could show you my vintage Yamaha SO3, which I
Nice.
haven't used in production, but I throw it in for live sets.
Okay.
So let me move the guitar out of the way and show you that, because I wanted to display like the gear that I
Cool,
use
man.
too.
I'll take this opportunity
And
to take.
this
Go on.
right here, this wondrous
Ooh, look at
thing
that beast.
is the Yamaha SO3.
Very cool. Well,
And this is a vintage synth from '99, Japanese made, of course. It's a Yamaha. And I have audio controller back here too that I recently obtained. And actually, I obtained this from Panda. So
oh, hey.
we did a bit of a bargain.
Our mutual label mate, 8-Bit Panda Strike, check out his episode of Space
yes,
Couch.
Absolutely. And yes, and I have to give him, a major thanks, because if it wasn't for him telling me what you were doing with Ligerhawk, then I don't think I would have been as inspired to get back into music like I am. Because I will say that I was at some point in time about to just say fuck it.
Really?
And I meant it. Like, there was a part of me that was like, I was producing music with my friends over the winter and everything, and we kept trying to record, and the things weren't matching up, because I do have bandmates and other projects and things like that. And they're more like a recording band though, because they're so busy, they just don't want to have to deal with all of the drama of the overhead. And I'm like the wild card who's like a nomad who just wants to get out there and would love to go on tour and do wondrous things and connect with people. And that's really what I want to do with it. But yeah, there was a point where I just thought maybe I wasn't going to continue taking the music serious, and because I've been producing music since I was 18, but off and on I would stop. I'd get caught up in things, just things in life and whatnot, and I never really completely 100% devoted myself to it. And once this came my way, and then we started doing things with Obscure and having events again, and experimenting with the DJing. Now, I'm not going to say I'm necessarily a DJ, but I find that I'm picking up on it rather quick because of my production knowledge. So that's fun too. And all of these things just started to kind of come at me from the universe, right? And they said, no, this is what you were made for.
Yeah.
This is what you do. You breathe this, you live this, and now it's just a matter of, I want to like get out into the world with it though. I don't want to just stay. And I mean, I was talking to you a little bit about that, how I want to get out and just go with it. And it's, for me, what's important with music and art and production and all this is I love meeting people. I love having new experiences. I love the idea of traveling and working with people and sharing ideas and all of that, and inspiring each other. Because to me, it's about community, because without community, without fans, without people who listen to our music, does our music even really exist?
Hell yeah, man. Well said. Well, you're teeing me up for the next thing very succinctly, because I wanted to. Not only did you DJ our wonderful show, but you pulled out a live set sort of last minute because there was a cancellation, and you were awesome. Oh no, did we lose you?
So you were asking about the live show experience, but the communications were canceling out a little bit there.
Oh yeah. It's because we're for no reason I'm doing the show from space, so like the signal gets like it bounces off the sun and stuff like that. So I was just asking you how you found the live show of Invictus.
like how was it for me with the
Yeah,
experience
yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
getting
I mean,
back
because
in
that
and
was like the
producing?
first.
I mean,
Yeah,
not
because
producing, but
that was like the
performing
first show,
with
right?
Invictus.
Yes, exactly.
Um, so here's an interesting thing about that. I initially, when I spoke to Panda, said I'm not ready to go out and perform with my music yet.
Really?
Like, I just want to do the DJing, and then I'll eventually do a live show. I'll perform, but not this time. Let's get people in on the show, and we agreed on that. So then we had, unfortunately, Luna Del Luna could not make it, and they had very legitimate reasons as to why they couldn't. And we are willing to book them again in the near future if they'd be interested, but we understand why they couldn't make it. So, and that's quite all right. It happens. That's just part of showbiz and business and whatnot. But so when I found out they weren't performing, initially I said, I'll just do some extra DJ. And then like 5 minutes later in the conversation with Panda, I said, no, never mind, fuck it. I'm going to go and I'm going to perform with Invictus, man. I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
So let's do this. And he was happy. He was excited about that because I said, um, the whole thing with I didn't have a lot of things ready, and when I came to perform, I didn't even have anything set up. I had to do this all last minute and get
Yeah.
everything organized and prepare myself for this. So when I went up initially and I was performing for the first song, I just was like, okay, let's just do this and get this out of the way so they can go
Right.
on and perform. And that's what I was thinking in my head. But then after the response of the crowd, and then this, as I got more into the songs, I was like, oh, oh, I fucking love this. Like,
Yeah. We'll cut
yeah,
in some live footage
yeah,
here,
this is
man.
what I want to be doing. So now I was just really getting into it. And I was really getting into it. And after that, I thought to myself, all right, I want to start getting gigs again. I want to start performing. I want to go like wherever,
Yes. Hell yeah.
anywhere. I don't care. I'm a wild card. I have nothing holding me back.
Cool, man.
No, I
Well,
have nothing. So
if
I mean,
you,
I'm not to say I don't have nothing. I have everything. I have a lot. I'm grateful for all that I have. But what's that?
I was just going to say
What
to
were you
our
saying?
audience, if you have anybody's a promoter out there, look up our guest today at vitriolum.bandcamp.com. Because he's going all over and he's great. Well, speaking of club nights, let's promote yours. Let's talk about Ex Obscure in the Wilkes Bar Bear Scranton area.
Okay, so Obscure is fairly new, of course, and it just came to be from old events that we used to have because before Obscure we had Cyberhex. And
Okay.
Cyberhex was well before, let's just say, all events got canceled and venues shut down.
Right, right.
So and we were starting to get somewhere with it. We were inviting the Kingsters out, the NEPA Kingsters, which I'll give a shout out to them because they came out and they had a tent, and that whole fetish element just really brings something to the goth industrial, dark alternative, whatever you want to call it, atmosphere. It
Sure.
really does, having all those people there, and it was a great combination to do, and that was one of the things that I envisioned when I came up with the name Cyberhex. I said, why don't we turn these into goth industrial fetish nights and have these people come out?
Mm.
And lo and behold, we did. And then once those events kind of came to a close because of the great shutdown on venues, after that, well, it wasn't until a few years later that eventually, just recently in this spring, Panda and I started talking again, and I came up with the idea of Obscure because we have a group called Obscure Culture, but we took the culture part out and just called it Obscure. And I said, why don't we? Yes, it's called Obscure now on Facebook,
On
which it's a
Facebook.
community for a lot of people to just come into and join. It's not just about our events; it's for artists, it's for a community.
Check out
But
Obscure, y'all.
Obscure, the event came to be around the spring crossing into summer. And Panda and I started discussing that. And then we decided, okay, let's start something up in the area again because there's nothing here. There's
Mm-hmm.
nothing here in this area. Nobody else is really doing it. Um, there's a lot of people who want it. And there
Mm-hmm.
are people who will even drive from an hour, maybe 2 hours away, because when there's not something happening in one of their towns or their cities, then they will come out to enjoy what we have to offer. And Obscure is a variety of it's a dark alternative dance night, but it's also we have anywhere from one performer to one, two, three, maybe four performers, but we usually cap it at three. And it's just something new that's growing in the moment. We just had our initial one, our first initial one was with you.
Hey, all right.
So and
I
that
didn't know the
was
first one. Okay, cool.
yeah.
So get it on the ground
So
floor.
you're a grandfather in. We kicked it off with Gothsicles, so yeah, man.
Yes. Well, that was the first gospel show I played in a million years, so it was great to be back. Honored. I didn't know that was the first Obscure night. It went really well. Um, and one thing I also want to ask you about before I forget, your video production work that you've shown me is like awesome, like your industrial photography and stuff. How did you get into that mixed media?
So basically I just walked around in a circle, and it was better to go this way because, as you can see, if I went up there on that road, I just would have eventually ended up there with the fences, so good choice. And for all those wondering, yes, I don't know what this place is, but I will try to find out and then put it in the information. Maybe I'll have it as the title, so if the title of this abandoned industrial facility is there and I'm talking as if I don't know, it's because, well, I pre-recorded this and didn't know what this place is.
Okay, so the way that worked is I decided that I wasn't getting enough live gigs and I wasn't performing out enough in the past. And this was when I was working with Vitriola.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided to put more effort into creating an online presence.
Okay.
And I figured I'm going to work with videos. And I found that the lacking of being able to express myself on a stage at the time and not finding enough venues, because at the time nobody wanted to cater to it was a very niche thing. It's very hard to find it was very hard to find like goth industrial like outlets.
Right.
And so for me there was a sort of release to create videos and
Okay.
have the music and the videos together, because when it comes to the music in my head, I'm also visualizing things and I'm
Mm,
thinking and imagining of scenarios and and how to create an audio visual uh, form of
totally.
entertainment. So I want it to be an experience, and it just went hand in hand because I started off with using a DAW for music production, and then I went and I gave video production a try, and I found it to be easy to pick up on because they both in some way go hand in hand with the way
Right.
you um, operate them. Like
Mm-hmm.
there's a
Totally.
similar method. There's a relativity there when it comes to both types of software. And I just thought to myself, well, why not be multifaceted and do it all? You know, a jack of trades, a jack of many
Ah,
trades, a
you're the
master of none. I've
king.
always just been like that, a renaissance man.
Cool, man. Well, thank you
And
for go on. Oh, sorry, that's your John.
what's that? I'm
Oh,
sorry.
sorry.
You
Now
good?
we're talking to each other. Sorry, I talked over you a little bit. I didn't know you were still going.
Yeah, no, and overall, ultimately, I also do things with video. I have one video where I'm doing a bit of abandoned exploration.
Mm.
So sometimes I like to produce these videos of exploring places and everything because the whole idea was to turn my YouTube in some sort of a vlog of a mixed variety.
Okay.
But
Cool, man.
mainly now it's just catering to my music.
Yeah.
So
Well, we certainly love that. It's good stuff. Um, let's get into this because I'm rather curious. This is everybody's favorite feature, a radiation round, called that because lightning is exceedingly rare in space. No wrong answers. Say whatever you want. Let's start here. Cats or dogs?
cats, 100%.
Cats, 100%. Um, when you're working out, light weights or heavy weights?
But you're cutting out. You're cutting
Oh,
out.
sorry. When you're working out, do you light weights or heavy weights?
Uh, I mean, to me, it's just weight, like
Okay,
you build up, you work up. But so, I mean, you're safer with light weights, but if you don't increase the weight, then how are you going to break your muscles so that you can get bigger, so you can get bigger? So,
absolutely. Um, we'll go with the old divisive industrial electronic musician question: software or hardware?
why can't I answer that one?
That's a perfectly fine answer. You can say
Uh,
both.
software.
Cool, cool, cool. And I'm gonna throw in one bonus for our Philadelphian, or not Philadelphian, Pennsylvanian. I meant to say, Sheets or Wawa.
Wawa.
Wawa. Okay, so from the top, cats 100%. Start out light, but get to heavy if you can. Software and Wawa. And then we'll go into everybody's other favorite feature, hypothetical spectacle. That's where we just like get a little weird and like reimagine your essence as something else, like Invictus the rom com or the Invictus the breakfast cereal. We do it all the time, but I want to know what would Invictus the video game be like? Would it be like a real time strategy game where you construct a wasteland refuge? Or would it be like a fighting game where your fighters are like the Ascender, the Designer, the Forger, the Technomancer? All Invictus songs. What do you think an Invictus video game would entail?
Well, an Invictus video game would definitely be like a post-apocalyptic survival simulator. And if
Okay.
you've ever heard of a game called Scum,
No.
it would be something like in the realm of that, or something like Fallout
There you
76,
go.
or Arma 3 DayZ mod, which I used to play a lot of that,
Nice,
Milsim
nice.
and stuff like that. So, Stalker, Call of Pripyat, stuff like that, because
Yeah.
I actually love post-apocalyptic survival games. So
Okay, so it would be a
that's
post-apocalyptic
definitely what it would
survival
be.
thing with a banging soundtrack, and yeah, you got to navigate the floodgates of Wilkes-Barre or whatever. I
Fun fact, I inquired to one of those gaming companies recently, like a few months ago,
Yeah.
about submitting my music for their
Oh,
game.
it is
But they
very
had been all taken up. They've
okay.
been taken up on it. They couldn't take me up on the offer because they had so many already. So, but I
Well,
tried.
well, I will keep. I'll put my feelers out. I know people love that stuff. Video game creators, and your music is so cinematic. I can't see that being anything but gold. Um, all right, so we're gonna bring this flying
But it's more
couch.
than an album; it's a journey.
Yeah,
So,
there you go. There you go. Through the wasteland of the Invictus video game. So I'm going to bring this flying couch back on into the station in just a second, but we can end on this. What is next for the mighty Invictus? Okay, what are you working on?
At the moment, I was thinking of adding more guitar in, of course, because
Nice,
a lot of my
nice.
older stuff didn't have as much guitar, and my most recent tracks do have guitar in them. I have a a friend who's from that quote unquote somewhat of a band type project that we have, and he works with Invictus from the background. He played saxophone, so him and I have a new track that we're working on together, and it's going to have more of like a dreamy, heavy reverb,
Cool.
distant, echoey sound to the guitar, and
Yeah.
a bit in like the, like if you could imagine like that 80s goth sound, like something in the realm of are we allowed to say band names on here?
Yeah, whatever. We're in
Uh,
space, man. No rules.
because
International waters.
yeah, no, because like him and I are big into stuff like Clan of Zymox
Okay.
and Fields of Nephilim,
Yeah. All right. Love that.
you know, Peter Murphy, that kind of stuff. The Bolshoi, stuff like that, man.
Oh, I'm really excited
Yeah,
now.
yeah, Mission UK, all that stuff. That's what he's big into.
Woo.
And so we were even thinking like there might be something kind of a little bit going in that direction because like what I do with Invictus is I have a specific sound with it, but I don't want it to just all sound the same.
Mm-hmm.
I want to create variety. But when
Mm-hmm.
people hear it, they know that's Invictus.
Very cool.
So
It's a tough needle to thread, but I think you do it well because it's like I never know what I'm gonna get when I crack open the new Invictus track because you just all varied, but
yeah,
around a sound, not the homogenous sound, but a vibe to me is apparent. Well, oh man, okay. So what did we learn today? We learned that we were playing live, looking for gigs. I will let you know that our guest today crushed a live set, and he can hold a note, which is like amazing to me. Check out Obscure
thank you.
if you're at all in the area, or even if you're not. It's worth the drive. The If you make video games, check out our guest because his music would fit perfectly into your video game. And we'll look for some saxophone action on some forthcoming tracks. Vlad, thank you so much. Okay, so this is Brian for Space Couch, for Vlad, for Invictus, saying, "Call the spaceships to Davenport, prepare for Div Anarchy, and interface with a couch in space. Space Couch out!" And then these are just the end credits, and we can talk over them sometime. But I haven't really figured out how I'm ending the show, so I just sort of have this dancing guy. It's great, and so I will stop it there.